Poor black waitress fired for helping the undercover owner. Next day, the truth left everyone speechless. The smell of bleach and determination filled the small laundry room behind Rosewood Diner as Maya Johnson scrubbed the stubborn stains from yet another tablecloth. At 2 a.m., while the city slept, she worked her second job to make ends meet. Her hands were raw, her back ached, but she never complained. What Maya didn't know was that her life was about to change forever, and the man she would help the next day would turn her world upside down. Before we continue, let us know in the comment section. What time is it and where are you watching from? Now let's continue. Maya arrived at Rosewood Diner at 6 a.m. sharp, just like she had every morning for 3 years. Her black uniform was pressed, her smile was ready, and her heart was full of hope despite the bills piling up at home. She had a sick mother to care for, and rent that was already 2 weeks late. "Table 7 is yours," barked Sandra, the head waitress who seemed to take pleasure in giving Maya the worst sections. "And Maya, remember what Mr. Henderson said yesterday. One more complaint and you're out." Maya nodded quietly. She knew Sandra didn't like her, but she needed this job. She walked to table 7 with her notepad ready and her smile genuine. Sitting alone at the corner table was an elderly black man in worn clothes that had seen better days. His shoes had holes, his jacket was patched, and he looked around nervously as if he didn't belong. Other customers stared and whispered. Some even moved to different tables. "Good morning, sir. Welcome to Rosewood Diner. What can I get started for you today?" Maya asked warmly, treating him exactly like she would any other customer. The man looked surprised by her kindness. I only have $3, he said quietly, his voice shaking with embarrassment. "What can I get with that?" Maya's heart broke. She recognized that look of hunger mixed with pride. She'd worn it herself many times. "Well, let me see," she said, pretending to think. "Our breakfast special is eggs, toast, and coffee for $2.99. You're in luck." The man's eyes widened. "Really? That's perfect." But Maya wasn't done. When she brought his meal, she had quietly added extra eggs, hash browns, and bacon. "Cook made a mistake on another order," she lied with a smile. "Hate to see good food go to waste." 20 minutes later, Mr. Henderson, the restaurant manager, stormed over to Maya's section. He was a large man with a red face who treated the staff like servants. "Johnson, what do you think you're doing?" he yelled, loud enough for everyone to hear. "Giving away free food to homeless people? This isn't a charity." "Sir, I don't want to hear it. Look around. You're making our real customers uncomfortable. Some of them are asking to be moved because of him." Henderson pointed at the elderly man, who was quietly eating in the corner, pretending not to notice the scene. Maya glanced at the other customers. Some were indeed staring and whispering, their faces showing disgust and judgment. "Please, Mr. Henderson." He paid for his meal. You just what? Decided to play Mother Teresa on my dime. I've had enough complaints about your bleeding heart attitude. You're fired." The diner fell silent. Every eye was on Maya as tears started to form in her eyes. The elderly man at table 7 stopped eating and watched in horror. "Please, sir. I need this job. My mother is sick and—" "Should have thought about that before you started running a soup kitchen. Security will escort you out. Don't come back." Maya untied her apron with shaking hands. As she walked toward the exit, she passed table 7. The elderly man grabbed her arm gently. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "This is my fault." Maya shook her head, tears flowing freely now. "You did nothing wrong, sir. Everyone deserves to be treated with dignity. Enjoy your breakfast." The next morning, Maya sat in her small apartment, wondering how she would pay rent or buy her mother's medicine. The phone rang, and an unfamiliar voice spoke. "Miss Johnson, this is Robert Chin, attorney for Richmond Restaurant Group. Could you please come to the Rosewood Diner today at 10 a.m.? There's been a development." Maya's heart sank. Were they pressing charges for the extra food? She had no choice but to go. When she arrived at the diner, she couldn't believe her eyes. News vans lined the street. Reporters were everywhere. Through the window, she could see Mr. Henderson sitting at a table, looking pale and shaken. The attorney met her at the door. "Miss Johnson, I'd like you to meet someone." Standing behind him was the elderly man from Table 7, but he looked completely different. He wore an expensive suit. His posture was straight and confident, and his eyes twinkled with warmth. "Hello again, Maya," he said with a smile. "My name is William Richmond. I own Richmond Restaurant Group, including this diner." Maya's world spun. You own this place." 43 restaurants across the state, actually. I do this once a month, visiting my locations undercover to see how my employees treat customers, especially those who might be struggling. Maya stared in shock as Mr. Richmond continued. "Yesterday, I watched you show kindness, dignity, and compassion to someone you thought was in need. You didn't hesitate to help, even when it might cost you. You defended my right to be treated with respect when others wanted me gone. But I lost my job." Mr. Richmond smiled. "About that, Mr. Henderson no longer works for my company. Neither does Sandra. They forgot that our customers come in all shapes, sizes, and financial situations. Everyone deserves respect. Maya, I'd like to offer you a position as the new manager of this location. The salary is $60,000 a year, plus benefits and performance bonuses. You'll also receive back pay for yesterday and a formal apology from the company." Maya couldn't speak. Tears of joy replaced tears of sorrow as the weight of her financial worries lifted from her shoulders. "But that's not all," Mr. Richmond continued. "Your act of kindness was witnessed by several customers who contacted our corporate office. Your story has inspired our board to create the Maya Johnson Scholarship Fund for children of single mothers pursuing higher education." The diner erupted in applause from the staff and reporters. Maya covered her face with her hands, overwhelmed by the dramatic turn her life had taken in just 24 hours. "Why me?" she whispered. "Because, Maya, in a world that often teaches us to look away from those in need, you chose to look closer. You saw a human being where others saw a problem. That's the kind of person I want representing my company." Today, Maya manages the most successful location in the Richmond Restaurant Group chain. She's implemented a program that provides free meals to those in need, funded by customer donations. Her mother received the medical treatment she needed, and Maya is taking night classes in business management, paid for by the company. But the most important change? The sign by the door that reads, "All are welcome here. Kindness is always on the menu." Mr. Henderson found work at a small cafe across town, where his attitude hasn't changed much. Sandra took a job at a fast food restaurant where she learned that treating others poorly eventually catches up to you. And Mr. Richmond? He still does his undercover visits, but now he tells new managers about Maya Johnson, the waitress who showed him that the true measure of a person isn't found in their bank account, but in their willingness to lift others up. So here's the question that's been burning in my mind. If you were in Maya's position, would you have risked your job to show kindness to a stranger? And if you were Mr. Richmond, would you have revealed your identity to make things right? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one. And if stories like this inspire you to believe in the power of human kindness, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell for Beyond Yesterday. Because sometimes the most extraordinary moments come from the most ordinary acts of compassion. What other incredible true stories would you like me to share? Let me know in the comments, and remember, your story could be next.